And welcome to the DN Newsroom for this week's installment of Chirp TV, the weekly sports show where we break down the upcoming weekend in Ball State sports. I'm Vinny Lopes, co-sports editor of the Ball State Daily News, alongside co-sports editor Kyle Shaner, and our special guest at Chirp TV this weekend, women's basketball reporter Joe Cermak. And guys, it's been a crazy week so far in Ball State sports with the football team getting that win against Northern Illinois and the women's volleyball team losing to Toledo, snapping a 42-match winning streak they had against the Rockets. And clearly the biggest game this weekend has to be an exhibition game that the women's basketball team is playing against the Hoosier Stars starting at 7 p.m. at Worthen Arena tonight. Now, Joe, you've been talking to this team. What's kind of the mindset of the team entering this game?
Well, the main thing they have to achieve here is get a healthy transition started with the new offense and defense. Kelly Packer instituted, high up-tempo offense that's really quick shots, and easy looks early on. And they have to set the tempo early on in this season, and I think if they do well with the offense this game, I think it should go well. Yeah.
Now, if you're a Ball State fan going into this game, what's the one thing you should be watching for?
Well, I'd look at the freshmen. It is an exhibition game, so they'll be able to get some minutes under their belt. And also, new coach Kelly Packard said that, with a 12-woman roster, they're going to need to step up, these freshmen, so they can have a good season. So I think it's a good night to watch the freshmen.
Right now, switching over from the hard court to the water, the women's swimming and diving team will have two home matches this weekend, the first being tonight against Akron, and then they'll also play Buffalo Saturday afternoon. Now, Kyle, you covered the swimming and diving team last year. Are these two winnable matches for them?
Well, the women's swimming and diving team started out MAC play this year with two losses, one to Bowling Green, one to Toledo. This week's opponents, Ball State beat both of them last year, so these two should be very winnable meets.
Yeah. Now, in addition to the swimming team, the men's team will also be home this weekend, and they'll be playing Buffaloes also on Saturday. Is this another winnable game for the swimming and diving team?
The men's team's going to have a little harder time than the women's team. About 5 years ago, Ball State considered cutting the men's swimming and diving team. It stuck around but had to give up all its scholarship. So all these athletes are non-scholarship athletes. They went 0-4 last year in the MAC, so it's going to be a tough one to get a win against Buffalo.
All right, now moving on to some quick hits. Guys, the volleyball team in action again, trying to right the ship, so to speak, after that loss Thursday night. Be playing Akron 1 p.m. Sunday at Worthen Arena. Can they win this game?
Big loss against Toledo, first in 43 matches. This team's done a pretty good job of balancing the wins and losses this year. It's 6-7 in MAC play so far this season. Akron comes in near the bottom of the MAC East, so women's volleyball team should win this one.
Joe?
You're only as big as your ponies, and this team has some big ponies. So if they apply themselves and think this one through, I think they can achieve whatever they want.
All right, now moving on to college football. I know that there's no Ball State football game this weekend, but what's the one game you should tell Ball State fans to watch for because it could help the Cardinals in the rankings? Joe?
Well, I say Boise State, Utah State. Boise State's been at a high level of competition for a few years now, and if Ball State's going to move up, they're going to have to take defeat.
That's one game. Ball State fans, of course, are going to want to see Boise State lose, but Utah State is 2-7 this season. Ball State fans also want to see BYU lose. BYU is playing San Diego State, which is 1-8 this season. So I'd look to the SEC for some potential games that could move Ball State up in the rankings. Number 16 LSU is playing number 1 Alabama, so it'd be a big upset for LSU to get that win. Another one potentially is number 13 Georgia playing Kentucky. Last year, Kentucky beat a pair of ranked teams, so it's a team at 6-3 this season that could knock off Georgia, move Ball State up below in the rankings.
All right, and that's going to do it for this week's installment of Chirp TV. I want to remind you that you can continue to get your weekend sports updates by going to bsudailynews.com. Or if you have a question you'd like for us to answer on next week's installment of the show, you can email us at sports@bsudailynews.com. I'm Vinny Lopes, he's Kyle Shaner, that's Joe Cermak. Have a great weekend, Muncie.
See ya.